Hello everyone, and I hope you guys are doing really well, and we have been working on tenses with you, right? And we've so far completed present and past tense, and we've been discussing future tense with you, wherein we did future simple and future continuous, and today's session is based on future perfect tense. Now, perfect tense, as we did, that it generally takes verbs third form. This is a common property that we have discussed already when it comes to introduction of tenses. And as I have been always suggesting you about that, if you have not watched the previous videos, the introductory videos of tenses, I would request you to watch them. Not all if you want, but introduction of tenses is important because there we have discussed forms of verbs, okay? And if you watch all of them, it's beneficial for you because once you start with present, you move to past, then you move to future. Or you can start with past, you can go to present, and then you can go to future. That's not a problem. But yes, you need to keep on working on these tenses, okay, to master them. You cannot just listen to what I am saying and be okay with it, but with me, along with me, you have to frame your own sentences to work on it. All right? Okay, so let's move ahead and talk about future perfect tense for today. Guys, future perfect tense is to express an action or situation, okay, that will be ended or completed by a particular point of time in future. Okay, for example, an action here in present has started or is going on, it is in continuation, and an action in future, it will here in future at some point it will complete. Okay, it has not ended, but it will end at some point in the coming future, but it will complete, it will be completed by that time. By that point of time in future, the action will be completed. And that is when you use future perfect tense. So, the pattern of this tense is that with a subject, an object that is obvious, as I have told you, you will use will, have, and third form is common in every perfect tense. You have to use will, have along with the third form of verb. This is the exact verb form or tense form that you have to use to justify your tense, that is future perfect tense. For example, they will have finished writing before we reach. They will have finished writing, which means the task or the action would have been completed or will be completed by the time we reach there. Okay, so this is one such example of future perfect tense. And if you see here, this is the time reference, before we reach. So for that particular time in future, whenever you reach there, the task or the writing task will have been finished, okay, by that time. Why am I saying will have been finished? Because I am talking about passive structure, but here the action is about the subject. The subject is in forte, so this is they will have finished writing. If I say writing will have, then I would say writing will have been finished before we reach. Okay? All right. Now moving ahead, I have another example for you guys. Next week, I will have known Gaurav for 5 years. All right, this is huge, 5 years. Now, I am saying that the moment we hit next week, the moment next week starts, I will have known Gaurav for 5 years, means next week I will complete 5 years of this point, which means Gaurav and I know each other for 5 years now. Next week, by next week, this will be accomplished, this will be completed. All right. Yes. Now here, these sentences, guys, are positive sentences that we are talking about. If you have to frame a positive structure and statement, you will be using this tense. But now here, what to do when we have to use other frames instead of will. Let's talk about it. We can use other modal verbs instead of will to talk about the future in a less certain way. Now see, if you, for example, it is not always necessary that you use will to talk about your future. You can also make use of other modal verbs, but in a less certain way, which means there would be less of surety and certainty of that action to take place. But yes, you can make use of these modal verbs also instead of will. Okay, for example, what are modal verbs? We have done these modal verbs, we have done the use of modal verbs, all of them, whether it's will, shall, can, could, may, might, okay, or must, or should, ought to. We have done all these modal verbs. Okay, so if you wish to have your doubts cleared, you guys can watch this video on modal verbs and we can discuss. Okay, if you have doubts, you can write us and we can definitely discuss those. Okay, now you can watch the video so that you understand what are modal verbs. Now, what are these modal verbs? You can use, for example, by the time you get home, I will, I may, I should have cleaned the house. I may have cleaned the house, which means that I am not sure. I should have cleaned the house means karna chahiye. Okay. But when I say I will have cleaned the house, the certainty of the action, or I am sure that this action will take place. That is what I am talking about. Okay, so we can use other modal verbs also, but this would express less certainty of that action to take place. All right. Okay, this is understood. These are the modal verbs that you can use instead of will. Now, exactly like I was talking about, that those were the positive structures. What about negative structure? Nothing. Now I guess you know it well. When it comes to negative structure, the only thing to add is not. Nothing much has to be done. You just have to add not to it. So it becomes subject and object in the right place. Will not have and completed, accomplished, whatever third form you have to use. For example, will not have booked the flight tickets by them. When I say will not have booked the flight tickets, it is we will. It is the contracted version of we will. So I am saying will not have booked the flight tickets by then. Okay, if you want, you can elaborate. You can say we will not have booked the flight tickets by then. But if you want contracted version, you can use contracted version as well. I can give you another example. Second example that I have for negative structure is the actor will not have signed the script before the release of his first film. When I say the actor will not have signed the script before the release of his first film, will not have signed. By the release of his first film, the actor will not have signed the script. He will have been waiting for it. Will not have signed the script. Getting the idea? Yes. I hope you've got the idea. If you have to frame negative structure for future perfect, make use of not, but just after will. If you say will have not signed, that is an incorrect pattern and that would go wrong for you. Okay, that would be an incorrect pattern. Do not do that. So the pattern is immediately after will you have to place not. Having said that, with these proper explanatory sentences, I will be moving ahead now. Now, what to do when you have to ask questions when it comes to future perfect tense? If you have to use this tense and frame sentences or ask questions to people around you, what can you do or what would you do? Okay, the pattern is simple. Put your helping verb ahead and let your subject shift back. So will, subject, have plus third form. The pattern will be will Miss Ishani. This is my subject. See, Subject is falling immediately after my helping verb. So, will Miss Ishani have attended her cousin's wedding? Now, guys, I am using have here and not has, even though Ishani is singular, because have is supporting will. You see the pattern? Will, have, always, no use of has. Always have. So, will Miss Ishani have attended her cousin's wedding? Maybe yes, she will. Maybe no, she will have not. Okay, you can answer. Yes, she will have. No, she will haven't. She, whatever. Maybe yes, no. Answer could be. Okay. Another possible example could be, will Aman have cancelled his plan? Okay, it's quite possible. Maybe Aman has cancelled his plan. Maybe Aman has not. So yes, he will have. No, he will not have, or he won't have. So you can use it on your own. You can use it in your way. Okay, you can practice answering these questions, guys. Answering the questions is also important because it is not necessary that you are the one who will be asking the question. There could be other people who would ask the same question to you. Okay, yes. So asking questions, negative structure, positive structure. And apart from will, what helping verbs can you use? This is what I had for you to discuss in today's session. No repetition required. You have to work on it. Go watch it again. Revise it. Frame your own sentences. Push yourself, guys. Push yourself. And if you enjoy the sessions, do not forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much. I will see you in the next session. Keep learning and growing. I'm signing out. Thank you so much.